real world champion, and we will get to see that match at least one more to that. Now, I did mention what heel turn, moving swiftly on. The heel turn is actually quite interesting. So, as you recall, Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria won the Women's Tag Team Championship off of Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. They had their rematch this coming week on Raw, and Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez re-won the Tag Team Championship back this week on Raw, and they pinned Lyra Valkyria, funnily enough, which would be oblivious. Liv pinned Lyra Valkyria on Raw, but then Becky Lynch absolutely destroyed Lyra Valkyria on Raw, which now begs the question: was it Becky Lynch that took out Bayley all along to get back into the fold, and thus looking like going for the Intercontinental Championship, which is rather interesting? But Becky Lynch normally in the world title mix, and she took Valkyria out with 3 manhandle slams. So it's an interesting, scenario there. But Becky Lynch turning heel again. Something needs to give with Becky Lynch. I've liked Becky Lynch for a while. I felt as if she was watered down for the last couple of years. Obviously, starting a family, being away, that's all, fine and dandy. You're going to do that quite a lot. That's happening in wrestling. Happens all the time. But now she's back. She's back full time, as Andy pointed out yesterday. It's time for her to deliver, and I'm hoping that she delivers. And now she's a full-fledged heel. I guess it'll be interesting to see how Becky Lynch. Is it Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria at Backlash for the Intercontinental Championships? For the Intercontinental Championship, should I say? Could well be the case. And I, for one, again, will be very much looking forward to that. Should that match be made official? Should that match happen? Is Becky Lynch the one to put a little bit of, I don't know, I want to say legitimacy behind the Intercontinental? That sounds harsh on Lyra Valkyria, but I really thought that championship should have had a big name behind it, like a Natalia, like a, I don't know, Liv Morgan, someone that's got, Charlotte Flair, even though that's not Charlotte, but, bottom line is, you get the point what I'm trying to say, a bit of star power behind it. Lyra Valkyria was still new to our television screen when she won the Intercontinental Championship. And I know she had the good Queen of the Ring and whatnot, but it's, it is what I said before. And I was hoping that was going to be the case. It wasn't the case, and Lyra Valkyria coming in the champion. So it's going to be interesting now to see if Becky Lynch does win it. Does she have that star power behind the Intercontinental Championship? They've struck gold with Chelsea Green with the United States Championship. I think that's absolutely perfect. I've not been convinced with Valkyria yet. Maybe Becky Lynch is the person that's going to bring her out and make her the maybe the star that she actually is. We just don't know. We will find out. A return on Raw. It's been talked about for a while that we knew this person was coming back. It was just a case of when and how in this case. And it was indeed, well, he was Rusev in WWE. He was Miro in AEW. He is now Rusev again. And this match was exactly, he come back basically during a tag that didn't really start. Alpha Academy, New Day were getting into it. On the microphone, New Day was bragging about winning, championships and all of that. Alpha Academy come out wanting a shot. They were getting in the ring. Lights go out. Rusev's new music hits. He comes out on the stage. New Day make clearance out of the ring. He got great reaction from the fans. It was great to see Rusev back in WWE. Me and Andy did make the point yesterday. What's he going to do? Is he going to be superstar? Is he going to be, it's just one of those interesting ones. But he comes in, New Day hightail it out of the ring. Rusev annihilates the Alpha Academy, Otis and Tozawa. at ringside, and he delivers the match kick. He stomps on Otis's back, gives him the accolade, and thus cementing his return back to WWE TV. Now, I posed the question to Andy yesterday, well, what's that going to do? Is he going to be a big star? Is he going to be mediocrity? Andy was sort of favouring the second part of it. I thought the return was great. I think it's great he's back. I do kind of agree with Andy on this. I'm struggling to see where Rusev fits in. I mean, attacking the Alpha Academy doesn't really do anything for you. It does put him as a heel upon his return, despite a great crowd reaction that he got. So I'm not too sure where they go with it. Obviously, he needs to come back, and then he hopefully will find a big feud that he can get his teeth into. Don't really think the Alpha Academy is that way to do it, but it's a way to introduce Rusev back into the WWE. But he is back. It was a nice return. Obviously, this coming Friday on SmackDown, we are due to get the return of Aleister Black, Malachi Black, whatever you want to call him. But he's coming back this coming Friday, so a really nice return on Raw. We've got a big one on SmackDown as well. Really looking forward to that. But Rusev, welcome back to the WWE, and we will be watching with bated breath, see what they have in store for Rusev Day, so to speak. We'll talk about Judgment Day in a minute, because obviously Raquel and Liv are the tag champs. Dominic Mysterio, those people know, we spoke about it yesterday, winning the Intercontinental Championship. How would Finn Balor react to that? Well, he said what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and he was going to be at Dominic Mysterio's side for his first defense of his Intercontinental Championship against Penta a little bit later on Raw. We will save the moments for now and get into that in a minute. Now, some really interesting developments within the Raw women's division. Now, we don't know if these are developments that are going to stay on Raw or not, but Io Sky was in the ring saying about how she was best night in her career last night. She's still the women's champion. She beat Rhea Ripley, she beat Bianca Belair. And near enough, the moment that she said that, out comes Stephanie Vaquer from NXT, which was a big surprise to me. I wasn't expecting Vaquer out here so quickly. She came out and she kind of indicated that she wanted to wrestle Io Sky one-on-one on Monday Night Raw. And in fact, that's exactly what happened. We did get a portion of the match. What WWE do something good is they give us something. They don't give us too much of it, but they make us want something more. And this is exactly what they've done with this one. She had a great match with Io Sky. Now, the ending of this match was Roxanne Perez comes out. She causes a distraction. She attacks Io Sky for the DQ. So costed Stephanie really. Matches what she done there. And then Julia comes out. But Julia comes out and attacks Stephanie back here. So you've got Roxanne Perez and Julia ganging up on Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. That brings out Rhea Ripley. So then Rhea Ripley comes out. She has a standoff with Julia. They come together. Julia decides, you know what? It's time to wait for another day on this one. And she leaves the ring. But the women's division, I mean, if that's Julia, Roxanne Perez, and Stephanie Vaquer, I mean, are they call-ups? Was it just are they going to be doing double duty? It's a big, well, it's a huge additions to the women's division on Raw. If that is indeed the case, we're not sure if they're called up properly yet, or whether, again, they're going to do like a combination thing between NXT, because I think Stephanie Vaquer, if my memory said right, she is NXT Women's Champion. So she's still got things to do down in NXT. Julia is not. Roxanne Perez, I think, has finished up with NXT now, but some welcome additions and massive strengthening of the women's division on Raw, should that indeed be the case. Let's switch over to the Raw men's champion. That is Jey Uso. He had his Yeet celebration. He made good for tap. He was, he's excited to have him as World Heavyweight Champion. It was kind of a total opposite to what we got with John Cena and his bit, where John Cena was like, take your pictures, the last real world champions here, blah, blah, blah. And he's out, and Jey Uso is out yeeting, he's, you know, and all of that stuff. Brung out Sami Zayn. Now, I was thinking that Sami Zayn may have turned on this, but actually he did not. Sami Zayn come out, he hugged him, he said, you know, basically, you know, congratulated Jey Uso, that he's proud of him, you know, and all of that sort of stuff. And but he didn't say, he didn't want to get too sentimental. He didn't do. I thought he might have maybe challenged Jey Uso to a match at Backlash. I thought that's where they were going with it. But you know, it didn't. And then that brought out Jimmy Uso, and they all had a bit of a, you know, a hug and a yeet and God knows what else. And that was how that segment finished. So we didn't really get any inkling as to what's going to happen with Jey Uso going forward at this moment in time. Maybe that's next week. It's quite a quick turnaround. I mean, Backlash is only in a couple of weeks, so they really don't have a lot of time, which would have made sense for some of these matches. Filler. John Cena was never going to have his return match with Cody Rhodes at Backlash. That really wasn't going to happen. That really weren't going to happen on Backlash. Never. It was probably going to be saved for later down the line. Randy Orton makes sense. Jey Uso would potentially make sense with Gunther. We'll get on to Gunther. Actually, we'll get on to him right now. So Gunther actually come out, was going crazy, choked out Pat McAfee. I think some people may have been happy with that. I don't know, but he choked out Pat McAfee. So Gunther pissed off on Raw. So is he? It's likely to be Backlash match, those two for the championship again. Maybe Jey Uso picked up a pinfall victory against him at Backlash. Maybe. Or do they go in a totally different direction and maybe like a Logan Paul? Because he basically said that he will continue wrestling everybody on a roster. So we're kind of no nearer to finding out. And I think next week we will definitely have to find out on Raw what's next, because it's, as I said, the turnaround to Backlash is very, very quick. So is it going to be a lot of rematches? Is it just week matches thrown together? As I said, the Cena Orton one makes sense, assuming that is happening at Backlash. That one does make perfect sense. You know, we deal with that. But where do we go with Jey Uso? I guess we'll have to wait at least until next week. That's for sure. AJ Styles having an interview. He obviously lost to Logan Paul. He said, you know, he's taking the L, really, and that's okay. You know, part of being phenomenal comes with setbacks. But Karrion Kross joined the conversation at this point. I would recommend every single one of you go onto X and look at the promo that Karrion Kross cut, whether it was a work, shoot work, whether it was just a complete work. It was a fantastic promo. Even at one point, I can't remember what show he was on, he cut a scathing promo on Triple H. Said, fuck you to Triple H, or a man in the red tie, which indeed was Triple H. You know, and even Scarlett looked worried during some of the promos. They, hang on a minute, you got a bit off kilter. But anyway, he joined the conversation. And he said that Styles losing to Logan Paul makes the locker room look bad. And he said he's hated himself looking in the mirror last year and he's never going back. Kross wants to be angry at the world. Don't take AJ back with him. And actually, Styles tells Karrion Kross to solve that problem himself. And Karrion was like, maybe I will. So is the problem going to be AJ Styles? Is Karrion Kross going after Logan Paul? What I would say, and I've been saying it forever and ever and a day, push Karrion Kross to the moon. That guy is everything that you need him to be right now. And he's, because of what happened before with the mask and Vince McMahon and everything that Vince done to him, you now need to forget about that. I think he's now took that away to basically, you know, become actually a legitimate competitor again. And that's where we need him to be. He is just so, the promo was amazing. Just go and watch it on YouTube. Not on YouTube, on X. Go and find it. So good. Anyway, we mentioned earlier on, Dominic Mysterio was facing Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. Well, Dominic Mysterio, it was no surprise. He did win. There was more no surprise in that Judgment Day does get involved But it wasn't Finn Balor that helped Dominic Mysterio. It was the returning J.D. McDonough as well. He comes back. He was the one that shoved Penta off the top turnbuckle that allowed Dominic to pick up victory. So Judgment Day is pretty much okay. Finn, I still don't quite think he's there yet. He may be there soon, but he's definitely not there yet. I think eventually we're going to get something happen along those lines where Finn will get kicked out of the Judgment Day, or he'll snap on Dominic, and the rest. It will be interesting to see where the rest follow on that one. So we will see where that goes. But Dominic Mysterio successfully defeats Penta. They've got to be careful now. I know that Penta started off really, really well, but they've got to make sure that they stop losing with Penta and bring him on to probably start winning streak again. Be careful with losses. But finally, the end segment of Raw, we get to Raw's end segment. Seth Rollins is a visionary, he's a resolutionary. He took a wise man, stole CM Punk's best friend, and he was the winner. WrestleMania main event night 1. That brings out CM Punk, and they start literally teeing up on each other. Punk gets the better of it and then stomps Rollins to the chest. He then turns his attention to Heyman. And when you think that Heyman is in trouble, Rollins is back. He rakes the eyes of CM Punk. He hits him with the curb stomp, laid Punk out. And Paul Heyman was like, we're going to conclude the weekend by propelling the news all the way to WrestleMania 22. There is a new, reigning, defending, undisputed #1 top star in the industry, and his name is Seth freaking Rollins. Credit starts rolling. You think that's it? Raw is done. No. Out comes the OTC himself, Roman Reigns, and he hits Seth Rollins with a spear. He again, Reigns then hits a Superman punch on Heyman. He goes for the spear. He gets speared himself, and that spear by Braun Breaker, who has returned. Well, he's now realigned himself with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. I'm all here for that. Raw went off the air with both of them two together. That is how you do a Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you watch it this week if you haven't done already. It is great. Looking forward to seeing where they go. His backlash going to be Roman Reigns, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Wow, Braun Breaker is the new breakout star in the WWE, and he's the new pop star in the WWE. That was Raw. It was brilliant this week. Finally, after a weekend of nightmares, we get a great show. Awesome show, Monday Night Raw this week. Loved it. More of the same, please, as we lead into Backlash on May 10th. But you can keep an eye out on us. We've got interviews dropping this week. Tyler Franks from the NWA. Stop 5. We've got the NWA reviews this week. All the reviews back as normal this coming week. We return to our normal television programming. And I'm interviewing former WWE diva Cherry this coming Sunday. Keep it locked at HTT Buckle on X, HTT Buckle on YouTube, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, and all of our social media. And until tomorrow, when we're back with NWA, everybody, buckle down,